Wait, did you take a course? Are you certified? How did you become a coach overnight? I've been hearing these questions mostly from folks who don't really know me for the last week, because last Saturday, my mentor, Coach Val, who's been training me up for the last 11 months, granted me the title of coach. For those of you who've been along for the ride with me the last 11 months, or those who've been watching my evolution for the last 7 years, it makes perfect sense. But for those who don't know me, there are questions, and that's normal. So today, I decided to answer them, not with a resume, but with the real story, because I didn't become a coach in a classroom. I became one in the fire, in life, in the day-to-day successes, failures, and effort that I've been making. Today, I'm going to talk to you about being built, not born, and what qualities it takes to qualify someone to lead. Welcome to episode 19 of Making Mel Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, and other days, flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you, I will tell the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. I didn't wake up one day and decide to become a coach. I didn't chase a title or build a brand around perfection. I was kind of thrust into this role by life, by loss, by the people who kept asking me, how did you survive that? How did you rebuild? Mel, how do you keep showing up? And the answer isn't simple. I'm 53 years old, and I started this health journey 7 years ago, not with a plan, but with pain. I was grieving. I was fairly newly widowed. I had a little girl who had lost her daddy and was fearful of losing her mommy to obesity. It is that simple. I have spent most of my adulthood helping others and holding others up while ignoring my own needs. I am very good at encouraging, growing, empowering, teaching, and holding up others around me. But it wasn't until I started using those skills on myself that I really began to coach. I was trying to hold together a life that kept falling apart. I was trying to hold together a woman who was always in the background, but meant to be up front and center. I am often in the spotlight, in my personal life as well as work. But to be honest, I am a reluctant participant in the spotlight. I am much more comfortable being a cheerleader in the background, the hidden source that gives everyone else what they need to be successful. When I started my health journey, I had a few guides, but no real guidance. So after a few injuries and a few plateaus, I did what comes naturally to me. I started researching answers. And somewhere in the middle of the place of not knowing what I didn't know, I found something. I found additional strength that I didn't know I had. Not the kind you post on Instagram, but the kind that gets you out of bed when your heart is shattered. The kind of strength that pulls you off of your knees when you don't feel like you can stand. I stood. I started walking, adding vegetables to every meal, and about 6 months in, I found the courage to join my very first gym at 47 years old. And that's how it started out. One step at a time, 1 pound at a time, 1 workout at a time, brick by brick. I began to find more discipline, not the kind that counts macros perfectly, but the kind that says, I will keep going even when I don't feel like it. For anyone who's ever felt like they're drowning in their own life, I understand. I was content for a very long time to drown myself in food and blissful ignorance of the state in which I was living. And I had to take a long, hard look at the 423 pounds that I had allowed myself to get to, and I needed to bulldoze the foundation. I started to find love, not just for my daughter, but for my own body, which I have always hated. I had to learn to love myself, and I did it 1 meal at a time, 1 plate at a time, and 1 mirror session at a time. You know, the first time I looked myself eye to eye in the mirror, after I got over the initial laughing at what I thought was a really silly exercise, I began to really see me, the woman who lived through the hurt, the heartbreak, the woman who lived through the rape as a child, through burying a husband and a son, through carrying a 400-pound body through a career of holding the hearts of abused and neglected children and carrying them into a safer place with their own families or with other ones. I would like to say that I took a nice course and got a certification, but the truth is, my coaching skills were built through training others and training myself. Now, my formal education certainly gave me the skills, with a bachelor in psychology and a master's degree in sociology, and now actively seeking a PhD in health science field, where I get to study strength training for menopausal women. I take leadership courses several times during the year, and I'm also a certified virtual trainer through work. I have been training people for more than 10 years. What qualifies me as a coach isn't a certificate or an education. It's the fact that I've lived it. I have lost so many people that I love, including me for a while. And in that loss, I found myself and some really amazing mentors. I've fallen flat on my face, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But what made me different is that every single time I got back up. I've learned nutrition not from courses, which I have taken, but from trial and error, from injuries that forced me to listen to my body and learn to nourish it properly, from late night research sessions when I was trying to figure out why my body felt so miserable. I'm a school nerd. I research everything. I don't just want to know what works. I want to know why it works. I will never coach from a pedestal. I coach from the floor, from the messy middle, from the place where you're crying in your car, wondering if you'll ever feel strong again. I see pain in others, and I cannot walk away. I run towards it and towards them. I sit with people in the hard, bring them together, and help them find a way. 11 months ago, I met Coach Valerie. It's hard to believe that I just met her this year because we have forged a friendship that seems like it's always been. She has mentored and grown me to lead even better than I already was. She showed me that my natural ability to stand beside people, not above them, was a superpower. My willingness to tell the truth, even when it's ugly or vulnerable or scary. She validated my position. When others called me their unofficial coach, she agreed with them. Others heard me speak about my journey, my healing, and my refusal to pretend that healing is linear or that strength is always loud. I've lived the chaos. And I've learned how to fuel myself. And I have tried to empower every single person that I've encountered on this journey. I have built my coaching powers the same way I've been building myself, brick by brick. I do bring a lot of knowledge to the table, but my heart is what's more important. I refuse to let people fall and go through it alone. So if you're listening today and wondering if you're qualified to lead, let me leave you with this. You don't need other people's permission. You don't need perfection or certificates. You just need to keep showing up for others and for yourself. And sometimes let yourself fade into the background. Good coaches see their people and help them use their strengths to overcome weaknesses. And I see other people better than most. I've spent my whole life focusing on others and not me. And it built me for it. Turning that lens to myself taught me even more. Having a mentor like Coach Valerie gave me the finishing pieces. And I fully intend to run with it and stand on it. And if you choose to come along with me, I'll be right here, cheering you on, walking beside you, and reminding you that your story is enough. Because we are not born. We're built. Brick by brick, step by step, day by day. Next time, we're going to talk about how changes in life impact your journey. Until then, onward and upward, my friends.